Adriatic is initiative supporting sustainable plastic-free living, working, and holiday environment. My name is Lovor Kastruna. I'm Maistra hotel manager of 2 hotels, Lona and Montemolini. Next to me is my project partner, Chiara Fumagalli. She's from Milan, but with a Rovinja dress. Chiara and I will going to meet here approximately every 2 months and to welcome many different guests from different areas. Adventurers and sportsmen, doctors and scientists, also artists or business people. Actually, everybody interested in preserving the beauty and uniqueness of our Adriatic Sea. Everybody who wants to do something good in that direction. Our special guest today is Aleksandra Beldajković.
Hello to everybody.
She is representative of Turtle Rescue Center, Aquarium Pula, pharmacist by profession. So, ladies, welcome both.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, 3 completely different backgrounds, but same passion for Adriatic. For me, our sea is not just a part of touristic offer in Istria and in Croatia, it's much more. I'm doing recreational swimming, and when I go there after work, it's sport, it's health, and it's kind of meditation. It's a very important part of all our lives. Chiara, what does it mean, sea means to you? And professionally, but also personally?
Personally. I should say, yes, my name is Chiara. I didn't introduce myself before. I'm actually from Milan, so I was born in Milan. I grew up in Milan, far away from the sea, far away from the ocean, and very unexpectedly, I have always been in love with the ocean and with the sea since a child. So it was a passion that it's inside me since ever. So since I was a child, I used to tell my parents, I will live by the sea when I'll be an adult. And I always wanted to find a place where to live and where to work. So I find out that I could study marine biology, so I became a marine biologist. And I had the chance to spend several years working in the tropics. So it was not bad. I have lots of beautiful experience in the ocean, underwater, with sea turtles a lot. And then I used to come on holidays in Rovinj, and I fell in love with this place completely. I decided 5 years ago to move here, so I started a business here in Rovinj, and now I'm almost a citizen of this town, even if I'm not speaking very much Croatian yet.
But you speak Italian.
Yes, it's true. And for me, the beauty of this coast is just unbeatable. It's a beautiful place. It's one of the most beautiful places I ever seen. The Punta Corrente Forest Park, the beauty of the rocks of the Adriatic. I love diving, swimming, snorkeling, jumping from the cliff. So I can't live without. So this is why I'm here.
Amazing. It's good to hear for someone who actually wasn't born here. Exactly. Aleksandra, what's your background and what does the sea mean to you? And actually, you're swimming as well. And who is faster, human or turtle?
Turtle. I am faster, sorry.
You are faster. Yes. Okay. We have to make the challenge.
To make a competition, yes.
Okay, next time.
Okay, I will bring the biggest turtle we have in the Turtle Rescue Center.
Excellent.
Okay,
that's
excellent.
Good.
So, my name is Maria Aleksandra Beldajković, and I am working in Aquarium Pula. This is important to mention because without the aquarium, the Turtle Rescue Center couldn't exist. So, for me, it was everything unexpected. One day I spoke with Milena, that is here. She is my director and the owner and president of the Turtle Rescue Center. So after, if you want to know better or much more in detail stuff, we are here so we can also share with you all the informations. It was Friday, I remember, and I was speaking with Milena, and she told me, oh, come with me here in Pula, maybe you will make a walk in the aquarium with me. I said, okay, I will come, because I was a little bit depressed, never finished my study, everything gone wrong in that period. And
So actually
You needed a
Milena
turtle.
saved you, and then you started to save the turtles.
Yeah, Milena
Excellent.
saved me, and
It's a fantastic
yes,
story.
this is life. And
Exactly.
then I realized that all around me is a beautiful world, that everything can be blue and green, and that we are actually that ones that have to act somehow. And also my first experience with a marine turtle, it was very fun because I am not a biologist, so I am a pharmacist. So I have always learned about humans and diseases.
You can't bring your bag in the sea,
no,
right?
no. And suddenly something like a huge rock stayed in front of me and said, "Oh my God, what is this?"
And it was moving.
It was moving, yes, with these flippers and some algae and mussels here, and I was like, "Oh my God, what to do? It is heavier than me, so I need some help." And it was a juvenile, so a young one, and you can imagine what can be if with an
How
adult.
big can become a
Yeah.
turtle here? How long?
How long? I have seen the maximum I have seen is 1 meter of the carapax. This is the shell of the turtle, and something between 55 to 60 kilogram of weight. So you need a boy to carry. Yeah. And so it starts in this way, very accidentally, and yes, I fall in love in. But before of the sea, for to save, for to be involved, so for to communicate with person, because it's a huge part of our work is communication. We are trying to give much more information we could, because this personal talk is what is the best.
It's what matters. That's why we are here today.
Yeah.
Because we want to speak about this topic live and in public. Because and also this week is actually Planet Earth Week, and there are many initiatives and activation all around the globe. This topic is very important because there are real threats, and these threats are, let's say, very close, and it's not something what is going to happen in 100 or 200 years, but it's almost tomorrow. So let's talk about the serious topic now. Marine litter threats, plastic, single-use plastic. We all know that plastic is actually one of the biggest inventions of our time, but it's also one of the top source of pollution, especially for our oceans. So on internet you can easily find a fact that until 2050 there could be more plastic in ocean than a fish. Isn't that scary? What can we do about it? What's actually it's our duty to do about it? I can't imagine. I'm working now in tourism for 15 years, and I see here in audience colleagues who are all their lives, maybe 40, 50 years in the tourism, and never thought about it. But imagine that in 30 years from now we can go swim here in front of our town, in front of Rovinj. So Chiara, please explain what's going on.
Yeah, it's actually heartbreaking from any point of view. We are all connected to the sea. Even if we live far away from the sea, we are all connected to the sea. And right now we are by the Mediterranean Sea, which is one of the most beautiful sea of the world, let's say. And unfortunately, it's one of the most polluted sea of the world as well. Due to its characteristic, it's a small sea, it's very much closed, so whatever ends up in the Mediterranean, it stays there forever. Imagine all the rivers, all the town, all the people that live on the coastline, but not just on the coastline. So it's unfortunately today a very polluted sea. We all love the Mediterranean, so we have to do something for it, and this is why we're here. Why it's so polluted? First of all, the excessive use of plastic, that is of course disposable, so used for very few seconds and then thrown away. Poor waste management, that's for sure, but even a very good waste management cannot handle this amount of waste that we are producing on a daily basis. And of course, the Mediterranean, it's such a beautiful place, so we have lots of tourists, lots of travelers that come here to visit, and this add a little bit of waste to this problem. So we are here because we are optimistic and we really want to find a solution. So we don't want to sit here and say, oh, what's going to happen? We want things to happen, and so we are going to act. All these pictures I'm showing you, I know they are not the most beautiful ones, but they are reality. I took personally these pictures while I was working here at the harbor. I'm sure nobody wants to see this kind of images, but we have to be realistic. It's important to know that most of the plastic, most of the litter that we find in the water, it's coming from land activities, not from sea activities. We are not here to blame anyone. It's not a blame and shame. It's not only about Croatia, it's not only about Rovinj, it's about everywhere in the world. So it's a problem we all should take care of. As I said, most of the litter comes from land activities, so it comes from what we are doing on a daily basis, even if we don't do it on purpose. Just few data about Croatia. You can see almost 55,000 tons of plastic packages were used in Croatia only in 1 year. And we always talk about recycling, which is a great thing, but unfortunately recycling is not the solution. If you want to solve a problem, you have to go backwards until you find the source of it. So sure, recycling is a good thing, but it's not enough. Also collecting and cleaning, it's good, but it's not enough. What do we find floating in the water? It's very simple to answer. You find microplastics, so small pieces of plastic. You find lots of cotton buds. You find plastic lids, plastic bottles everywhere. But I think we all know it. Okay. So.
Yes, I have here actually Adriatic numbers.
Okay, that's good.
So Hotel Adriatic is a beautiful hotel here, right here in the heart of Rovinj, with approximately 70 employees. There are 18 rooms, 1 bar, 1 restaurant, and it's really amazing offer. But of course, we also used, and we don't want to use anymore, these single-use plastic items. So I will share a few numbers. In 2017, we used 61,000 pieces of plastic straws. 61,000, and if these straws were lined up in a row, this equates to 11.85 kilometers, which is the distance from Rovinj to Bale, actually. Just such a small hotel. Then we used, in 2018, close to 20,000 plastic bags, 30,000 plastic beverage bottles, from which 65% were water bottles. Then more than 5,000 takeaway containers, 81 plastic razors and toothbrushes. So all this plastic waste, of course, didn't disappear. We just removed it from the hotel. And then what? What are the negative, actually, impacts to economics, but also health regarding the plastic waste?
So, of course, all of this waste usually ends up in a dustbin. But the dustbin is not a magical place where you put the things in and they disappear. It would be very nice if it happens, but unfortunately it's not like that. So from the dustbin, there's a long way they travel, and especially the very light ones, like the plastic straws, they can fly away very easily. So during their way to the disposable areas, most of them, they just are lost and they end up in the river, on the ground, in the sea. I see you want to say something.
Yes, but you have to know also that the time of degradation of plastic,
it's true.
It's more than 400 years for a plastic bag. For
400.
400.
Yes.
So, okay, to put it away is good, but
it's a bit crazy if you think about it. You use it for 1 minute and it takes 400 years to biodegrade.
Yes.
So there's something that doesn't really work well.
It's not good.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
So of course there's a lot of negative effects on both our health and both on economy. Here we are in a business hotel, so of course we have to take care about these numbers. Of course, the pollution is affecting very badly the tourism. Imagine if a tourist come here and see the coastline with floating garbage everywhere. It's not a very welcoming image. And of course, the fishery. We all love to eat fish. We like the
It's
fish.
on all our menus.
Exactly. So we definitely don't want the fisheries to be impacted, but they already are. Am I correct?
Yes, you are very correct, and I have also some statistics, and usually yes. So annually, if you are thinking how much shells, not fish, a person can eat, after that it is more or less about 10 kilograms of microplastics that you have injected in your body.
Because the problem
So
is that, of course, if the plastic ends up in the sea, of course, it can be eaten by animals that live in the sea. And in the end, we eat these animals. So we are eating our own garbage, and it's not very clever if you think about it. So we definitely should keep it out of our sea. And of course, also the animals are exposed to this plastic, and it's not good for the health, as you can very clearly imagine. You wanted to say something?
if I can, I can tell you that the microplastic and plastic are present in the completely in the natural food net. So from the plankton that we can't see actually to the big mammalians. So they actually the problem is more than a small one and acute one. It's dangerous.
Yes, actually the plastic is all in our food system at the moment. Maybe you heard about the last studies, they were analyzing sea salt. And the study says that most of the sea salt nowadays contains little pieces of plastic. So, of course, whatever ends up in the sea ends up in our dinner as well. And I don't like eating plastic. I don't know if you like it. Not very much. It's not very
Not
tasty.
so much. Thank you.
Anyway, just a little
Yes.
thing. Does anybody knows what I'm holding in my hand in this picture? No. The ones from the
Doctors are
aquarium.
not allowed to answer. Thank you.
This is what I always like to do since I was a child. I'm still a child inside, so after every storm I go to the beach and see if the sea has left any treasure on the beach. And this is a great treasure. Alexandra was very jealous when she saw this picture. It's a very rare finding. Anyone who wants to guess? No biologist allowed?
No biologist. Not
Yeah, come closer.
But Mirta is a biologist.
Yeah, Mirta is a biologist. She studies dolphins also.
Oteca.
Oteca, yes, but Oteca is too technical.
It's
The egg.
the animal is inside, and usually it's of skate or some shark.
Yes, so it's, let's say it in a normal way, it's an egg of a ray. Okay, so also ray lay eggs, so this is an egg of a ray that lives in Mediterranean Sea. It's very difficult to find. It's not a small ray, it's an egg, even though it looks like a ray.
small ray.
Exactly. So, what are we going to do for this?
So what are we going to do? Actually, Adriatic recognized the topic, recognized the problem, and we are going to switch many plastic items from our operations, from our bars, rooms, and restaurant. So we are going to use packaging like for shampoo with refill system. We are going to use packages for cosmetics made of glass or ceramics. Then toothbrush or hairbrushes, we are going to switch from plastic to wood ones, razor to metal ones. We already replaced straws, so all straws served today are bio ones. Then we are not going to sell any more beverages in plastic bottles, and so on. Of course, plastic waste bags, we are going to switch to bio ones, takeaway containers, so many items. And so our promise to be 80%, let's say, plastic free in front of our operations until 1st of June, and then continuing work on it until end of the year. I'm sure we won't be super perfect, but this is already great. We try. This is already a great move.
Well, what I would say that I'm impressed by the work that Lovrka has done, that the Adriatic Hotel is doing and this company is doing, because it always seemed very difficult to start. Most of the time when we talk about this topic, the reaction of the people is, oh come on, it's impossible, but we don't think that impossible thing cannot happen. So we have been working very hard, and step by step we are working at finding solutions. And if everyone is working at finding solutions, the solutions are there. We're talking about innovation, of course. It's something new, so at the beginning it looks very difficult, but then on the way it becomes less difficult. It's important to know that, as I said before, the most important action is address the source of the problem. So we are here to talk about how to replace the plastic items with better alternatives, and this is what Adriatic Hotel is doing. The alternatives are there, and if they are not there, we are going to create them. That's the point.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
There's a role not just by private companies, but also by the governments.
So what the law says, what does the European Parliament says about the single-use plastic? There are lots of talks, and actually there is a real law now,
Yes.
valid one. Can you
We're
explain
very
us?
happy. We have been partying a lot when we heard about this. So the European Parliament has voted for a complete ban of several items made of disposable plastic. Yes, go for it.
Yes, because from our point of view, we are involved in this European governmental and so other stuff, very huge one for 2017.
Okay.
It was an action that starts with a few aquariums all around the world, and it was called Marine Litter, Our Ocean. This was the first one. And believe me, we are very positive, because after a few months, 121 board aquarium were involved. So yes, we appreciate so much your effort to try to do something, because this is the correct way.
So we're going to have 121 hotels that we do the same within the next year. But anyway, by 2021 we should get rid completely by law. Cotton buds, plastic straw, dim stirrers, balloon sticks, also reduce the amount of plastic in the cigarette filters. There are already many countries in the world where disposable plastic is forbidden. So if you ever been to Rwanda in Africa, you know that if you enter the custom, they will open your bag. If you have a plastic bag, you have to leave it at the airport. So
Yes. On Bali as well was such.
Bali as well, yeah.
A few
And in
actions.
Bali, it was a couple of girls, teenagers from the school, that started this sort of awareness plan, and in the end, after 3 years, they managed to have a law that is now a national law. So it's something that also teenagers, we have some teenagers here, they can start acting and do something positive.
But 7 days ago there was great news that soccer club from Premier League also
Yes, it's true. The Newcastle.
Exactly, they cancel all plastic water bottles for the players, so players are now using just refillable water bottles.
So,
That's great.
Yeah, it's like a virus, it's going around. So this is the beautiful Adriatic Hotel from the harbor of Rovinj, and we are sure that by becoming the first plastic-free hotel of Croatia, so let's be very proud about it, we would like to set a great example for innovation, and of course we want to set a great example not just for the other business companies like other hotels, but also for the entire town. So we really hope to have an enthusiastic response from also partners, from clients, from all the parties,
suppliers,
for the communities, etc.
Because until end of the year we would like to also to switch from regular cleaning supplies to bio ones, and also try to use as much as possible recycled paper, let's say, for our printing materials. Also to think about the uniforms. And the reason I'm mentioning also the uniforms is because the big topic is actually our clothes and the fashion. Actually, Chiara, you are in fashion business, so you will tell us more about connection with fashion and with sustainability, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yes, I forgot to say that, of course, if you have any question about what we're saying, if you have anything that you would like to know better, we are here to answer if we know the answer. If we don't know it, we're gonna learn and reply. Okay, so coming to my personal experience, this is myself, I'm the one on the left, of course. Yes, exactly. As I said, the sea has been my passion since day one. I don't know when I started to love it, it was since ever. This is how I spent my last 10 years, not staying in front of a turtle all the time, but trying to find them. I have to say, please note that I never touched this turtle, I never fed this turtle. It's a wild animal. Some of them are very curious, some others are not. So when you have the chance to get this close encounter, I managed to take a selfie. This is actually a turtle selfie. So, turtle selfie is a category of selfies. It's not like the lift selfie, the mirror selfie. This is a turtle selfie. So, I am a marine biologist, and I've been working as a resident marine biologist and environmental officer in several hotels and resorts throughout the tropics, mainly in the Maldives, but also in Cape Verde and Vanuatu. And unfortunately, as a marine biologist, I haven't spent most of my time like this, but like that. This is how a deserted beach look like everywhere in the world. This is a picture from the Maldives, but it could be from anywhere else. So if there's no one cleaning up the beach, this is how a beach look like. It's almost paradise, let's say. It used to be paradise, now it's a little bit less paradise than expected. So it's a big threat. So exactly this is how I spend most of my time. Okay.
Great holidays.
Yes, fantastic. So before the clients arrived, we had to collect as much as possible the garbage, and I was the one in charge of separating it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know.
So understanding which were the kind of plastic. As you can see, I could open a sandal shop, even if it was second-hand. Plastic lids, plastic straw, plastic lighters, yes, bottles everywhere. So not always such a great thing. And especially, I have been focused on the problem of the marine litter, because in the last 10 years it has become the main threat to the ocean, one of the main. And especially, this is again a picture I took in the Maldives, it's a big threat for the sea turtles. Because there's lots of floating garbage, there's lots of floating fishing nets that are abandoned and that attract the garbage around. And turtles are very curious and also very hungry, so they go close to the floating nets, and most of the time they become entangled in that. And once they are entangled like that, as you might say, it's impossible for them to get out of the net without a human help.
Usually, if somebody comes, like a fisherman or somebody that wants to help, the flippers, so the upper arms, usually people do not know for the upper and downer flipper, so are inside the net, and usually it's finishing with the amputation of the flipper.
Exactly.
This is the best.
Yeah, it's the best opportunity. Of course, they cannot feed, they stay up in the sun, so it's not a very nice way to spend your time in the ocean. I've been working in my last project in the Maldives at the establishment of a hospital for the sea turtles, because we are finding so many that in the end we thought, well, let's build up a hospital so at least we have a place where to recover them. And I'm very glad that here, close by Rovin, I found another sea turtle rescue center. And this is where I met Alexandra, and finally we could talk about sea turtles for hours. Okay. So,
right. Shall we see finally where Alexandra is working?
Yes, but first I have to show two things about my current business. I'm sorry.
First fashion, right? And then
fashion.
Again turtles.
Yes,
Great.
because many people here know me because I have a fashion store, so they don't know that I'm a marine biologist. I'm a hidden marine biologist, but many people ask me why I'm doing that, what has fashion to do with sustainability and with the environment. Actually, a lot. Fashion industry is the third most polluting industry of the world. So if you want to talk about sustainability, we have to talk about fashion as well. Every morning when you wake up, you have to eat something, drink something, and put some clothes off. Usually you don't go around naked. We
Usually.
have many naturalists camping here, but fashion and
Being
clothes.
tourism improving.
But most of us, we dress up in the morning to go to the office. So fashion is an important thing. We all want to look nice and pretty. And of course, fashion, it's something about beauty. This week is the Earth Week, and it's also the Fashion Revolution Week. And this is what it's all about. This is the quote, it's who made my clothes? One of the most important things when you talk about clothes and fashion, it's understanding where your clothes are coming from. Unfortunately, in the last years, we had lots of new brands that came out from nowhere. And actually, we don't know very much about what's behind that. So where these clothes are made, how they are made, they are very cheap and you don't really know how this is possible. So this is a very good question to ask yourself. I am very curious by nature, so I always ask myself a lot of questions, maybe too many, so it can be very annoying sometimes. But it's your right to ask questions. So when I go to a shop, I want to buy a cloth, I always ask, sorry, where is this made? Who made it? And this is something that is always interesting to find out. So for me, beauty, it's first of all about the quality of what's behind a piece of clothing. So here we have, for example, an example of what raw materials and fabrics can come from. This very hot guy on the left is wearing an Econil jacket and swimming trunks that are made with recycled nylon. So recycled nylon comes from abandoned fishing nets that has been collected from the sea. The yarn is regenerated, and it's a great example of sustainability in fashion. So it's a product that can be recycled and recyclable forever. So why not using a nylon that is recyclable instead of one that is not? Another important thing about fabric is knowing how, for example, the linen, the silk, the cotton are coming from, because nowadays it's another big question. So I try to use for my own business fabrics and raw materials that come from sustainable and ethical sources. So imagine when you put on a linen tunic and you know that it comes from a beautiful flower. So this is a nice way to feel good and to feel beautiful. I think it's quite important. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you.
Great. So now we are going to see finally where Alexandra is working. Where is that aquarium center in Pula? It's very close to very beautiful beaches.
We see a short movie. It's how it's supposed to be. So somebody is running or walking, found a sea turtle, has to call 112. The turtle comes in the center. We are doing everything we can, infusions, and finally the goal is to release the sea turtle to come back.
Bravo.
This is very shortly. So I'm coming from the Aquarium Pula, and we are a sustainability company. As you can see, Chiara told to me.
Yes. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world where to work. I think you agree with me. Look at that.
So it is the Turtle Rescue Center is situated in Aquarium Pula, that is located in a very old historical building. This is a 130-year-old Austro-Hungarian fortress. This is Fort Verudela. Since the beginning, we deal with the sea turtles because people bring to us, usually fishermen. So, and in 2006, we had the need to establish the Turtle Rescue Center. So we are the first of this kind from that part of the Croatian coast. And as you can see, this was the data from 2017. Usually we are dealing with 10 to 15 turtles per year. This year a little bit less. We got in that moment 3 of them, fortunately, because probably they are staying in the sea. They are safe. They don't need our care.
Who is giving this cute name to the turtles?
So turtles are the only animal It is a reptile, first of all. People do not know. Reptile is an animal that is cold-blooded, so his body temperature depends on the temperature of the environment. This is the sea. And for our specific region, this North Adriatic, in the winter period we could have also very windy and cold winters. So usually turtle that comes in the turtle rescue center have something called cold stunning. This is hypothermia. This is the most frequent stuff that they get.
They have been too long in cold water.
Yes,
so
cold water, or usually when the wind, the bura is blowing. Sometimes we found, as we have seen in the video, the turtle shot on the shallow part of the sea. Yes, of course, we are also going to take sea turtles. It is possible, but in all that year that we are working, we have also established a net of veterinarian that has been taught by us how to do and how to work and how to take a sea turtle if she needs our help. We just take turtles that are not in good condition, so injured or distressed or cold stunned or that has...
How do we know if a sea turtle needs to be helped or not? So, for example, if I'm so lucky that I'm swimming and snorkeling at Punta Corriente and I see a sea turtle, would be nice.
It is possible. It is possible
Okay.
because they live in our North Adriatic normally. So, and I have also beautiful data. So, in this last years, the turtle number has increased. So that means that we are doing good.
Yeah.
So we can
So
deal
let's
with
all
this.
go to Punta Corriente looking for sea turtles.
But actually, the problem is when the animal is floating, or it's not moving, or if you see something that is plenty with some algae or something on the shell, because that means that the animal hasn't moved for a long period of time.
Sure.
This is the problem. In winter period, normal people have not they can't see so frequently as sea turtle because we are not using the sea during the winter period.
I go swimming.
Yeah, I know. I have seen your photos. I have seen. Yeah.
I know it's not a popular thing to swim in the winter, but it's still very good.
They thought that is healthy.
Okay.
Somebody told to me. Actually, they are coming from all the Adriatic coast. If it's something very wrong, they are coming in our center. So we have that kind of pools that is a pool for clinical use. So they are not exhibition pools, I have to mention. And our goal is to, if you can go,
Yeah, sorry,
yes.
got stuck.
So yeah, because I'm speaking. So we usually take care, and the final goal is to release the turtle.
Sorry, can I ask why you release the turtle and you don't keep them in a safe rescue center so they have a safe life inside the tank?
Good question. Sea turtle are an endangered species, so we have to help and not to keep it in a facility if they don't need anymore our help. So we are all volunteering for that Turtle Marine Center thanks to the policy of our business company. So it's very important to, of course, a veterinarian is coming from Zagreb, and she established is the time correct and
when
to
it's
release.
possible to release
Yes.
them. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they ever come back to say hi, thank you?
Actually, not really, fortunately, but we had sometimes we have some extra money from some funds and something like that, or projects also from others, and we can put the satellite, and so we can monitoring a little bit where they are going. Yeah. We have released more than 150 sea turtles. It's on the tier. So we are trying to do our best, and we are very happy when we can do. This is a contribution. Yes. This is our contribution. It's like
Thank you.
Thank you to the Mother Sea.
What does this have to do with the marine litter, with the plastic pollution? Because this is what we're talking about today.
You have to know another thing. Sea turtle has no gills like fish. They have lungs. So they have to come to the surface and to take a little bit of fresh air. And in these 20 meters, it's the biggest problem
This is when I take my selfies. Okay.
Yeah, your selfies. So fishing nets, fishing tools, plastic bags, and our garbage are present here. Um, what it is important also is to mention that the sea turtle has a not good vision, so they can see very well, especially at night. And as you can see in the first picture, you can see a jellyfish. This is the moon jellyfish, the Aurelia aurita, and in the other basket we have put plastic. So they are very similar. And actually, sea turtles, especially the young one, they also eat jellies. It's a normal part of their diets. So normally the marine litter and the plastic bags are drifted by the currents, and also the young turtles are drifted too because they are a little bit lazier than the adults. They don't know, they are curious, and they want to try, and they are tasting or eating injection plastic materials.
What happens when turtle eats?
It's not good. It's not good. If we have fortune, the plastic is a small fragment like microplastics, and they can be eliminated by normal
We know what you're
physiology.
talking about.
And if we have fortune, if not, they can be suffocated, and at the end,
the plastic in the sea can cause death.
no, this is important for sea turtles, but also all that I have mentioned here, it's important for all the marine organisms. It's not just turtles.
Yeah, we have read in the news very recently also a sperm whale was found on the coast of the Ligurian Sea in Italy, that its stomach was containing, I don't remember how many kilos of plastic litter. So it's affecting not just sea turtles but all the animals that are
But can
feeding
be
in the ocean.
not just injected, can be also that a smaller or a younger one is stuck in a plastic or material, and then I remember one with the name was Rada, and she has a deformation of the shell. And we suppose that it was for
Due
that
to
reason.
plastic.
Yes, due to plastic, perhaps.
Okay.
This is one good thing. We are not.
So what are you doing as an aquarium to fight this problem?
Okay.
So we can take some ideas, we can be inspired as well, because as I said at the beginning, we want everyone to
First of all,
inspire each other.
it's a lot of energy, and to enter in some coalitions or some good partners that, or some good people that would support you. This is very important. And as I have mentioned before, in 2017 we have entered this marine litter, and now what we are doing is to beat plastic pollution. This is a campaign against single-use plastic, and if you can go a little bit more, yes, we have put away all the cleaning products that were made by this material. We have replaced all the cutlery and the cups, even in the coffee machine. So we are very proud of that. We have also put away all the plastic bottles from the souvenir shop, from the bar, from all our guest spaces. Yes, and of course you have to have a waste separation somehow.
Definitely.
Yeah, and this is the new stuff. This is a refill corner because we want a solution and not to be part of pollution again. So we have put this refill corner because we want to
The people to refill the bottles. Yes.
They have the opportunity to buy if they want their own
water bottle,
water bottle but made by glass, perhaps.
Yes.
That is a cute also souvenir, perhaps. We have introduced bamboo glasses also. We use recycled papers at all in our normal life, like individuals, in our business part, and also for the guests. Yes. And of course to be involved in all other activities, so to celebrate, to perhaps for that Earth Day we have organized that Friday in Pula a small education about microplastic. with yeah.
So that you can involve also
Yes,
the
that you can
students.
involve students, the kindergarten, adult students, but you have to talk. Yeah, okay.
Not too much.
And what it is, something that we will give our contribution. Milena has decided, our director, to make a contribution to the marine protected areas also.
Okay.
And this is incoming
Do
project.
we have marine protected areas around Rovin? Yes. Brioni, yes, of course. Brioni is the most, the closest one to here. Yes.
We will come again another time and we will
Yeah.
explain better.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
More than welcome.
Okay.
You gave us many
Yeah.
amazing tips
Of
now.
course, that is not only plastic and only speaking activities, but we have really conservation activities because we are trying to prevent taking animals from the wild. So we are doing a lot of effort to have our breeding facility in the aquarium.
Sorry, I see a picture of a baby shark over
Yeah.
there. Do we have shark in the sea here?
Yes, we have.
Is it like Joe's style or it's something less scary?
It can be scary if you want to scare
Anyone
somebody.
scared by shark here?
Yeah. This is actually a baby dogfish.
Okay.
Yeah. The reproduction is easier, but also the dogfish, sharks, and rays are species that are very affected by plastic and by overfishing. So we have an action, it's called SOS for sharks and rays. So we are trying to do whatever we can.
possible,
Yes,
yes.
much possible.
This is the dogfish and it's a little bit
Yeah.
bigger than before.
This
no?
is they become like that. 1 meter.
How
yeah.
big?
They can grow.
Where can I find
Yeah,
them?
they can grow. Yes.
But they are very harmful or harmless.
No, yes, it's harmless.
Harmless, okay.
You
no
can
need-
swim.
I can swim.
You can
okay.
swim in winter
You can still
also.
go swim. That's
Yeah.
good. No,
And thank you for your attention.
thank
That
you
was
very
great,
much.
Alexandra. That was really great. It's great what you do for turtles and other animals in the sea. But also thanks you for sharing all these tips, what you did inside the aquarium, like during your regular working day. We can all think about it, what can we do more. So I already have some ideas. For next time, we are going to meet here 8th of June. 8th of June is World Ocean Day. We are going to speak more about eco-holiday experiences. So what are we going to offer to our guests and how can they be involved in this initiative. We will have many other interesting guests as well. And of course you will be informed. So thank you so much, thank you for coming.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for
If
the
you have
invitation.
any question for
Pleasant
Alexandra
meetings.
about sea
If you have
turtles,
a question, yes.
I just want to add something. You were talking about fashion and talking about clothes.
Yes.
I have something I used since later, very recently. I found out something else. So,
can you put the microphone?
yes. So if we are recycling our, from the plastic to the clothes, and then we have this plastic clothes on ourselves, and then we are washing them, and then what happened? Microfibers goes to the sea. So this is the problem.
Very true.
So this is the problem, and this I would like to talk about more because even that is not good. Because microfiber, I saw it in the intestines of the fish.
Yes,
So
definitely.
a lot of fish has this microfiber in the intestine. So this is just
So the
information.
structure of materials is something what
It's
should be
a
think
very
of.
good point. Actually, that's just a step since it's very difficult to erase nylon from the fashion industry. So your point is absolutely a good one. It's also true that sometimes you cannot find the best solution ever because many clothes, especially sportswear, is made of nylon and beachwear and swimwear. So in the end, it's a step forward,
Forward
better using recycled fibers rather than using new ones, than produce new one. But for sure, it's not the most sustainable material that you can find. It's definitely found in the sea.
Just something more I found out on the congresses. They are talking what they are going, what they are doing. So one team from London Society, they went to Indonesia and they collect the nets, fishing nets from the oceans, and a lot of people they were included in, they were working on, so a lot of people got the money, European money, this was a project. And so they, but this was very fantastic, they collect the nets in the sea, and they so cleaning everything from marine litter, and they brought to the Ljubljana. I didn't know that Slovenia and out so close to us. They have special recycling.
It's the one I was talking about.
You were talking
it's
about.
This eco-neo that we are using. It's coming from this recycling plant from Ljubljana.
And this what we have to know, that that you have to distinguish the marine litter from the normal litter from the land.
Sure.
So this is you cannot recycle the same way. Marine litter. So marine litter is a special litter, and a litter from the land is, let's say, normal. So this I just want to share with you these two things, items I found out recently. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
Anything else? So what do you do in your daily life to be more sustainable?
Well, actually, my first step was to buy a refill water bottle. I bought it almost 6 months ago, so I don't shop anymore plastic water bottles or juices, and
it was possible. You're
yes,
still alive.
it was first. Yeah, I forgot it at
She's
home a
still
few
alive.
times, but I carry my bottle with me everywhere, on training, on job, in car. Yeah, it's working. And now the second thing I did, I bought a shopping bag from recycled materials, so I'm going in to shop my groceries with that. And for now, that's it.
Yeah, it's a great step forward, because plastic bottles and plastic bags are amongst the most common items we find floating around. So if we start from that, that's a good start. And you, Alexandra, what are you doing?
So we have to
Apart from your job, that is itself something great.
Yes, I'm learning
not
my
enough.
small Julia, my daughter, what to do and what to not do, and to try to speak with her friends in the kindergarten, not to put plastic away and so on, because my mother will cook plastic for you if you come at dinner.
She's very scary in the mother.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, and we have to remember that also in the cosmetics, please do not use scrubs anymore, because you have microplastics inside. Also,
You can have scrubs made with sea salt, for
sea
example.
salt,
This is
perhaps,
good.
or coffee if you want. Depends on also the toothpaste that has inside something is microplastic. So we can do
it's
a lot.
everywhere,
We can do a lot.
Yeah,
Actually.
personally, I wanted to share a little experience that since I worked for many years in the Maldives, I was flying back and forth from Milan to the Maldives, and I really didn't want to bring any plastic bottles to the Maldives. But imagine you stay over there for 6 months. So I was shopping in a shop in Milan that it's all plastic free. And I had all my body care products like shampoo, conditioner, and cream in glass bottles. So of course the weight is much more. So I had to be careful that my suitcase was not overweighted. But it was, I mean, it's quite funny because the Maldives is a Muslim country, so they have very strict laws for alcohol. So usually alcohol comes in glass bottles. So every single time for 5 years when I was entering the Maldives, I was stopped at the customs. And they were saying,
They thought
do you
it's
have
alcohol.
anything to declare? No, but we found glass in your suitcase. So is it containing wine? No. Rum? No. Gin? No. What is that? Shampoo, conditioner, and body lotion. They say, why in a glass bottles? Because I don't want to bring any plastic bottles in your beautiful country. So I think the customs office, they learned a lot from this experience. I have lost a lot of transfer to my island because I was stuck in the customs for so many hours. But in the end, I think it was very much worth. So sometimes life can be a little bit more difficult if you decide to switch to sustainable material, but it's also funny. So it has to be something funny to do it on the way.
Good. I think we covered a lot today.
Yes.
And
So it's time to drink?
maybe.
Okay, let's go.
But use the bio straws, of course.
With bio straws, of course.
Okay, thank you one more time and see you next time.
Thank you.